finally the rematch. A week later, Sharks versus the Stormers. The Stormers are going to try get their revenge for last week. I know they were heartbroken. I was seeing all the videos, all the fan footage. The fans were destroyed, absolutely distraught after last week. Sharks fans are going to be absolutely elated. They're going to be so excited for this game. I think Kings Park is going to be absolutely pumping tomorrow. But that being said, let's get right into the teams. But before we do, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content I'm putting out or if you want to see more in the future. I'll be doing the international games, covering the Six Nations a bit in depth. All the other games later in the year, the Springboks vs All Blacks series. That's going to be absolutely incredible. So if you guys do want to stay tuned for that, please subscribe to help the channel grow. We're trying to get to 1,000 in February. We're at like 500 and something subscribers now. Really appreciate all the support, but let's get right into it. The Sharks have gone for Oxenchair at number 1, Faison Botha, Henry Jacobs, Corne Raal, Emile van Heerden, Sia Khaleesi, Vincent Chichuka, Pepsi Buthelezi. That's a strong front. That's a very strong forward pack. Grant Williams starting at number 9. He gets the start alongside Jordan Hendrickse, who's been on very good form recently. Jaco Williams again gets a start at number 11. Great to see. Andre Esterhuizen, the captain, at number 12. Ethan Hooker at number 13. Edward van der Merwe at 14. Apelele Lefosi at 15. Then on the bench, they've gone for Edouard Swart, Pato Ganyane, Vincent Koch, Jason Jenkins, Nick Hatton, Jaden Hendrickse, Sia Masuku, and Drenzo Julius. First impressions from that team right there is that they've gone for a very strong team. And I know JB Peterson was talking about injuries in the week, but obviously he was just playing mind games because this team looks healthy and this team looks strong. I mean, Oxenchair and Henry Jacobs seem to be quite a good combination in the props this year for the Sharks. I think Henry Jacobs has come on leaps and bounds since last year. He's been a phenomenal prop this year. Faison Botha is a player I really like for the Sharks. He's one of those guys, I wouldn't call him a Brock Harris player, that I think he has the potential to one day be able to play in the green and gold jersey, and he's a really good player. I think he's got a very good attitude towards the team as well. Corne Raal and Emile van Heerden. Good to see two young locks there. Emile van Heerden, I think, has been very, very impressive this year. He's a guy last year I was not too impressed with, but I think now that he's got more opportunities, he's got time to settle into that position. He's been phenomenal for the Sharks this year, and I actually don't know how you replace him right now. Corne Raal is a guy, he's a very mobile lock. He's probably fresh and ready to go. Obviously, Jason Jenkins got the start last week and had a great game, but I think they've got a plan with the bench, but we'll get to that. Sia Khaleesi, Vincent Chichuka, and Pepsi Buthelezi. I'd probably say that's the informed loose trio right now in South African club rugby. I mean, last week, Pepsi Buthelezi was phenomenal, and even the week before, he's been in great form. Vincent Chichuka, really good at line-out time, really good with the mauls. A guy like Mpilo Gumede, just absolutely outstanding when it comes to maul defense and maul attack. He really sets everything up for them. And I mean, Sia Khaleesi, he can change a game in an absolute moment. I think a really underrated part of Sia Khaleesi's game is his quick pick and goes on the line to get the try for the Sharks. He's done that about 5 or 6 times this year. He's phenomenal. So yeah, very good, very strong forward pack for the Sharks. I mean, looking at the backline, Grant Williams gets a start at number 9. He is a game changer. He's one of the top 5 scrum-offs in World Rugby right now, if not top 3. It's good to see him get a start. He's been playing off the bench a lot recently for the Springboks and the Sharks, but it's good to see him get a start. Can he have the same impact he does off the bench? I think he can, and it's going to be good to see him. Imagine he makes a break alongside the likes of a Jaco Williams and Edward van der Merwe. Talking about Jaco Williams, got a start last week, scored a try. One of the best young wings right now in World Rugby, one of the best young wings right now in South African rugby. He's a guy everybody should keep an eye out for. He is phenomenal. And then Edward van der Merwe, it's so good to see him back. But all credit goes to Yao Penke last week. I think he's come far from where he started at the Sharks. I mean, he was phenomenal last week. His work rate was high, so they'll be thanking him for his performance last week. But Edward van der Merwe is back. Good to have a Springbok win back. Want to see him get the ball in hand a bit more because he is such a good player with ball in hand. And it's going to be interesting seeing guys, ex-Stormers players playing against their old team like Edward van der Merwe. I love seeing that happen. I love these reunions. In the centre pair, I think right now the form centre pair in South African rugby and probably the form centre pair in the URC. Esterhuizen's been leading by example for the Sharks team. In my opinion, he was the man of the match last week. And Ethan Hooker at number 13. I really like that they've moved Ethan Hooker to number 13. He grew up playing 12. I thought he was going to come into professional rugby and play number 12, but I think I prefer him as a number 13 on the outside channel, especially with his experience now at wing, some good games at international level. He knows those outside channels now, and he kind of reminds me of a Jesse Creel style kind of a player, if that makes sense. Some people might see it, some people might not, but I think he's almost like a like-for-like replacement for Jesse Creel, so I'm really happy to see him there. And I do think once Andre Esterhuizen does retire, I think Lorenzo Julius will play number 12 for the Sharks alongside Ethan Hooker. Apulele Fasi, one of the man of the matches last week. Well, he was man of the match. One of the best players last week. Very good under the high ball. He's going to try to keep up that form. And I think a guy like Grant Williams putting in exceptional, accurate box kicks could really help with these wings like Edward van der Merwe, Jaco Williams and Apulele Fasi, who can really get up there and challenge for the high ball. Looking at the bench, Edwin Swart's been absolutely phenomenal this year for the Sharks. He's been such a good signing. I really enjoy watching him play. Obviously, he's not a Springbok player, so he was actually having a go at the other Springboks last week, which I like to see. I like the guys having a bit of a go at each other and shows that they care. Patuganyane, a very young prop for the Springboks, for the junior Springboks. He is such a good player, and I'm very glad to see a local guy from Glenwood doing well. He went to Glenwood High School, same as Jaco Williams. Glenwood are getting some really good young players out there. I mean, even Jaden Hendrickse. Vincent Koch, he's been alright this year. He's actually improved throughout the season. Jason Jenkins and Nick Hatton, two guys I'm happy to see on the bench there. Nick Hatton's a solid player. I don't think he's a Springbok player right now, but he's a very solid player. And Jason Jenkins, he's a man mountain. He's been great for the Sharks ever since signing for them. Jaden Hendrickse and Sia Masuku to come on. I think that's a good combination to maybe end the game, especially if they're in the lead. Kick into the corners, kick them into down the field, play in the right areas of the field. And Lorenzo Julius, an absolute impact player, can come on from number 12 to number 14, can make an impact anywhere on the field, and I think he's a great guy to have for the Sharks team off the bench. But now looking at the Stormers team, they've gone for Ollie Kebbel, Andre Igufente, Nedling Fischer, Andre Smith, Ruben van Heerden, Paul de Villiers, Ben Jason Dixon, and Evan Roos makes a comeback. That's going to be great for Stormers fans to see. Kobus Reinach at number 9, Sasha Ngomazulu and captain at number 10, Leolin Zas at number 11. He's going to try outpace Andre Esterhuizen this week because last week he got caught by him. That was a bit shocking to see. Jonathan Roche at number 12, great player. Number 13, they've stuck with Wandisile Simelane. Number 14, they've gone back to Dylan Mart. Number 15, Damian Willemse in his comfortable position. He plays for the Springboks. Replacements, JJ Kotze, Ntotoko Mchunu. Zachary Porton comes back into the squad. JD Schikkeling, Marcel Tennyson, number 21, Stefan Angera, 22, Yuri Mattia, 23, Warwick Galant. I mean, we can't just look at the one performance from the Stormers and say, oh, they're done, now they're done. I know, as a South African fan myself, I've seen it a lot. South Africa can have one bad game, or the Stormers can have one bad game, and all the fans think it's the end of the world. And you know, that's just a passion coming through. But I mean, the Stormers are still one of the best teams in the URC and one of the best club teams in the world right now. They're still the informed team. Yes, they had a bit of a hiccup last week, but I'm pretty sure they would figure it all out this week. And I think this week's game is going to be a lot closer. The Stormers are going to be very, very happy to have the likes of Evan Roos back. I think he was really missing last week. And I think him not playing last week actually helped his place in the Springbok team a bit and where he ranks amongst the selectors because they saw how much they missed him last week. So it's really good. They're going to be like, okay, this guy's actually very important for the Stormers. Maybe he should be playing for the Springboks. I think personally he should be in the Springbok squad. He's a young guy, and I think he's a perfect guy to take over from Jasper Visser when he retires. Maybe he does need to cool it a bit with his anger and aggression, but, you know, he cares about the game, he cares about his team, and it's good to see. He's a leader in this team. If you look at all the behind-the-scenes footage from the Stormers, he's one of the guys that's always talking, so it's good to see a guy like that. And, I mean, a young captain, Sasha Ngomazulu, I think him being captain and sticking with him at captain is very good for him for the future. I mean, there's some really good leaders in the Stormers team. I mean, Paul de Villiers, an ex-under-20 captain. Sasha Ngomazulu, now a captain. Zachary Porton, an ex-under-20 captain as well. So they've got some really good players here. And I mean, the loose trio, Paul de Villiers, Ben Jason Dixon, Evan Roos, is a very good loose trio for the Stormers. But they are up against a very good loose trio in Sia Khaleesi, Pepsi Buthelezi, and Vincent Chichuka. So that's going to be a very interesting one. Kobus Reinach and Sasha Ngomazulu next to each other again. That's going to be very interesting to see how they go against the likes of Jordan Hendrickse and Grant Williams, who've been in fine form recently. Jonathan Roche and Wandisile Simelane. I wonder how that's going to go against the likes of Andre Esterhuizen and Ethan Hooker. Last week, Andre Esterhuizen and Hooker got the better of them. But I mean, I'm glad they're going with the Wandisile Simelane again. I know a lot of people don't like the selection of him there, but I think once he gets into open space and once you have him alongside a ball-carrying, very powerful centre like Jonathan Roche, it can only help Wandisile Simelane on the outside, because I think Wandisile Simelane is still one of the most incredible talents in South African rugby. I'm glad he's getting another opportunity because he's a very good player, especially in the open field when he gets ball in hand. Leolin Zas got picked again. Good to see. He's been an informed winger for the Stormers, to be honest. Dylan Mart, the guy from the Griquas, will they sign him long term? I think they should. I mean, he's obviously played his way into the starting lineup, and what a story he has. Damian Willemse at fullback. Definitely the right choice for this week. I think in other games throughout the year, they should put Warwick Gelant back and play Damian Willemse at 12. And I think Damian Willemse's position is at 12 for the Springboks for the future, especially after the likes of Dale Lindy retires and Esthazen retires. But I think until then, he'll be at 15. He's a world-class 15. He's a World Cup winning 15. He knows how to play the position well. And I think he's a very solid guy to have in the backfield for this team. Looking at the bench, JJ Kotze and Totoko Mchunu, Zachary Bolton, very strong front row there on the bench. And Totoko Mchunu, I really want to see him get a ball in hand a bit more against his old team, the Sharks. He's such a phenomenal ball carrier. Zachary Bolton's a great scrummager for his age as well, so I'm really looking forward to see that. JD Schickerling and Marcel Tennyson, two solid forwards, big boys as well. They're going to need it against this very big Sharks team that has the likes of a Jason Jenkins on the bench as well. Then Stefan Angra. I would have liked to see an Imad Khan there. I think Imad Khan is a very good player right now. He's in the form of his life. So I think playing a player on form like that in these big games is important. I mean, the Lions did it with Hashim Peed. They gave him a go against the Sharks, and look what happened. The Lions won. And then Yuri Matia, a guy who, if something were to happen to Sasha Ngomezulu or something were to happen at fullback or they had to shift some positions around, he's a perfect guy you can put anywhere on the back line, especially in those key playmaking positions. Warwick Gelant, number 23, can come on and change a game in an instant. And I think if you are down quite a few points, you got to bring a guy like Warwick Gelant on who can just change the game and maybe bring a spark into the game. So I think he's a good guy to bring off the bench as well. So I mean, looking at the Stormers team, I think it's a very strong team. But if we were to combine the teams, who would we choose? Let's get right into that. So I would go for Oxenchair, number 1, Andre Hufente, number 2. Then I would go for Nedling Verschiet, number 3. At number 4, I would go for Andre Smith right now. At number 5, I'd go for Ruben van Heerden. At number 6, currently on form, I'm actually going to make the loose chair a bit more suited to my liking. I would go number 6, Paul de Villiers, number 7, Evan Roos, and number 8, Sia Khaleesi. I don't know if you're allowed to do that. You can comment below if I'm allowed to do that, but that's what I'm doing. At number 9, I'd go for... Right now, I'd probably go for Grant Williams based on last week's performance and his little cameo off the bench. I thought it was very good. Number 10, I'd go for Sasha Ngomezulu. Number 11, I'm going to go for Yaku Williams based on last week's performance. Number 12, Andre Esthazen. Number 13, Ethan Hooker. Number 14, Edward van der Merwe, Springbok quality player. Number 15, right now, I'm going to go for Apelele Fasi, even though if I had to choose a Springbok team right now, I would go for Damian Willemse. So it just shows right now, based on form, I'm probably leaning more towards the Sharks players. But you know, whoever you put on the team for these South African derbies, it doesn't matter. It honestly just matters at how they play on the day, because these South African derbies can go any way. And I mean, when the Lions played the Sharks, I was thinking a bit arrogantly, the Sharks are going to take care of the Lions easily. And then I saw the final score and I was shocked. So these derbies, anything can happen. On the bench, I'd probably go right now for Edwin Swart over JJ Kotze. I think Edwin Swart's been phenomenal. And then I'd go for Ntutoko Mchunu and Zachary Bolton. I think those two have been in a bit better form than the likes of Patrick-Ganyani and Vincent Koch. Maybe played a bit more, so I've seen a bit more of them. Then I'd go for Jason Jenkins at number 19. At number 20, I'd go for Marcel Tennyson. At number 21, I'd go for Jaden Hendricks. 22, Yuri Matia. And 23, I would go for... I'm going to say Warwick Gelant over Lorenzo Julius just because he's played more recently. And he's done some really good things this season. I know a lot of fans don't like him, but I think he's done a lot of good things. Yes, every player's made mistakes and done some bad things, but I think Warwick Gelant right now, I'd pick him over Lorenzo Julius in a combined team. So yeah, that's my combined team. As you can see, a lot of Sharks players, but also a lot of Stormers players. And I mean, those key positions, you can go 50-50 either way. I mean, Kobus Reinach, Grant Williams, either way. If you look at the fullbacks, Apelele Fasi, Damian Willemse, either way. I think the key differences for the Sharks here are the centre pairing. I think the loose forwards are very close, but I think the front row and the centres for the Sharks really have a big difference. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens this weekend. And I think my prediction for this game is I do think, I'm not going to say by how many points, but I do think the Sharks are going to win, and I do think it's going to be a close game. I think the momentum right now is on the Sharks side. They're playing with confidence. Players that have been maybe questioned a bit are now finally showing what they can do, and I think the Sharks team is really looking strong right now at Kings Park. It's so tough to go and beat the Sharks at Kings Park. I'm actually shocked that the Lions were able to do it, because Kings Park has such a good atmosphere. It's such a proud home crowd. There will be a lot of Stormers fans, which maybe could make a difference for the Stormers. There's always a lot of Stormers fans in Durban when they play, but there will be a packed house for the Sharks, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. If it's very humid and very warm, I think the Sharks will have a much higher advantage, because They train in those conditions. But for people that don't know, when you play in Durban in the summer, it's almost as if you're playing in the rain. The ball gets even more wet than it does when it's raining. It's like a bar of soap. So it's going to be very interesting to see if that is the weather conditions, how they manage it, and what happens. But yeah, I think the Sharks are going to win. Close game. Could go either way. If the Stormers do win, I won't be surprised. But it's going to be an absolutely spectacular game. I cannot wait. I honestly cannot wait for this game, guys. But Joe, if you guys do enjoy the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will be doing a full-time reaction right after the game to diagnose exactly what happened in the game. It's going to be absolutely awesome, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.